Hi, I want to share with you something today from my little black book, and it's not a list of phone numbers for beautiful girls or anything like that. It's where I keep inspirational thoughts, and what I wanted to share with you right now are some lessons from the world's greatest networker. And that's not me, not by any means, but networking is important in everything we do. It doesn't matter what we're doing in life, we tend to be networking. We are building relationships with people, and that spreads like a ripple through other people, like throwing a stone into a pond. So networking is important. It's also important in your business life because you want satisfied customers. No satisfied customers will tell other people how great you are, and they'll come along and become satisfied customers, and so your business grows. Also, many of us are involved in network marketing, where we're building groups of people, distributors. So what is networking about, and what are the greatest lessons? And the world's greatest networker gave me these thoughts, and I want to share them with you, because this is somebody who built a network of literally millions of people throughout the world, covering all the countries in the world. And he said, or he taught really, by example, that you've got to, one, know and believe in your product. You've got to have the utmost faith in that product, because if you don't, you will find that the shiny objects distract you, and you've got to be able to ignore those shiny objects. You probably heard of shiny object syndrome, where people flip from one opportunity to the next because it's the next best thing. It always looks better. The grass is greener on the other side. You've got to know and believe in what you're doing so that those cannot distract you. And then you've got to use demonstrations about what your product will do for people. And tell stories about those demonstrations. Tell stories that you can even invent that explain things, because stories sell. Facts just tell. So tell stories. Teach sharing. Everybody has to be involved in sharing, because if not, things stop, they come to an end. You want to share things that are good. That's natural to us, but teach it, bring it to the forefront. And if you're in networking, be really selective about your direct recruits. You want to choose self-motivated people, because you don't want to be always trying to pump them up to get them to do something. Every day your challenge is to pump up these people that you've brought into your business. You're going to be struggling. So choose self-motivated people, people that have strong feelings. Take time to choose and win them over. If there's somebody that you really want in your business, in your team, and never stop recruiting. Always be taking action, and be enthusiastic about the action that you're taking. And that is exactly what this great networker did. And that networker is Jesus. And there are lots of examples about how he did this. He spent years and years and years of his formative early life learning all about what it was that he had in his heart, what he wanted to do. And it became so strong in him that when he went out into the desert and was tempted by Satan with all these shiny objects and offers of wonderful things, he was able to put Satan behind him and concentrate on what was in his heart. And when he got out there with enthusiasm, he talked to people, and he found people, and he showed them. He turned water into wine, and he made the blind see, and he raised the dead. Wonderful demonstrations. And he told stories when people didn't understand things. He told parables, stories about how things should be and what they should be, and he made things clear through those stories, through those parables. And he taught sharing when he had 5,000 people there and just a few bits of bread and fishes. He managed to feed everybody because everybody got into the thing about sharing, and they pulled out their things, and at the end he had more stuff left over in the baskets than people imagined possible. It was all about sharing, and he was very selective in who he brought into his life to share this thing with others. He went out and he sought, and he started off with 12 apostles. And I know one dropped out rather seriously, but it didn't upset him. But he brought in Matthias to replace Judas. And he didn't stop there. I believe at the time of his ascension, the Bible numbers about 170 disciples that he had that went out to start spreading the word. So he didn't stop with those 12, but those 12 were his foundation. And he was obsessed with getting the right people, even if they seemed the wrong people. And this is really depicted in the recruitment of Saul, who hated Christians, went out to persecute Christians, but he transformed him and he became Paul, probably his greatest disciple. And if you want an amusing recount of that story, I suggest you listen to a little bit on attitude by Jim Rohn, and I'll put a link below this video to Jim's video. So follow the example, take a lead from Jesus, and be grateful that he's given you this opportunity. And this is a wonderful time of the year to be grateful for Jesus. It's the time of the year when we celebrate his life. So don't just celebrate his life, start to live his life in your own life. God bless.